Hello and welcome to a special edition of Optimum Local's Meet the Leaders. I'm Dallas Grove. Today we come to you from the State House in Trenton, where we'll speak to a variety of elected officials from around the state. Our first guest today is Assemblywoman Holly Schepisi. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I know you have a long day. It's a voting session today here at the state capitol.
That it is, hopefully we'll get home at a reasonable hour, but there's never any telling.
You're new.
Yes.
To the Assembly.
I have been here since January, correct.
And some of the first things you heard was the governor's speech.
Yes.
Both the State of the Union and the budget speech.
That's correct.
How were you impressed?
The governor is an amazing speaker. Whether or not you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, I think that he really captures the audience. And he's very passionate, he's very articulate, and he just is very blunt in his presentation.
I think we all agree on that.
But one of the reasons I decided to get involved in politics, I've never run for office in my life. I've never been involved in the front. I've always been behind the scenes. And seeing what the governor has managed to do with our state over the past 2 years really incentivized me to get involved.
You're a lawyer and have worked as a prosecutor?
I'm an attorney. I'm currently a public defender. I also have a private practice focusing on a blend of corporate law as well as municipal law.
Mm-hmm. So you're on the Environment and the Judiciary committee. So the Judiciary comes second nature to you.
It does. With the Judiciary Committee, the one thing that has surprised me is the number of very social issues that have come before the Judiciary Committee, and a lot of passionate pleas for assistance and help. And so far it's been great.
One of the things in the governor's speech was help and not jail time for those who have had drug crimes.
Right. I actually intend on being a co-prime sponsor of that bill. It's a great program. Right now you have so many people who are being incarcerated within the state of New Jersey as a result of being drug addicts. And this bill takes it and makes it mandatory for anybody who is deemed to have a drug addiction type of problem, and in lieu of incarceration, you go into a rehabilitation setting. And for recidivism rates and for getting people the help they need, it's a really tremendous program.
And another thing in which you're interested is e-courts. Tell us what that is.
E-courts, it came before the Judiciary the other day, and there are some concerns about it becoming a user tax on attorneys and people who are trying to utilize the court systems. But I think
is it E for electronics?
Electronic courts, and essentially what the bill is it is going to permit the courts to raise fees for a period of time to try to raise enough money to create an e-court system in the state of New Jersey, and a lot of other states have it. New York has it by way of example, and it will also allow for funding to go to some of our legal service programs as well. And it's something that New Jersey, I do think, needs. I think there need to be some protections built into the current legislation whereby the legislature has an ultimate veto power if the fees are unreasonable. But I do think it's something that's going to bring New Jersey into the 21st century for its court system.
And a source of revenue for the legal help that people need, the poor people in the system. You told me that you took, was it 83 miles to drive to, is that where it is?
I think it's 87 miles
87
each way.
miles.
Yes. I could potentially be the furthest away from the State House.
Well, in that case, now transportation and transportation funding is an issue in New Jersey.
Yes.
I understand the federal government is pretty much about to come through with a huge amount of money for New Jersey, $1.5 billion. But it's mostly for mass transit, I believe. That isn't going to help you with your commute.
With my commute, no. There is a train option, but I believe I have to get off in Newark. I would have to drive to the train station, get onto the train, transfer in Newark and then come down to Trenton. And there are quite a few people from my community who do it, but I believe it's over $25 each way as well.
And
so
if you miss that last train back, you're stuck here
I'm
in
stuck
Trenton.
here and staying at the Marriott for the night. So.
What are some of your priorities as far as your district?
As far as my district, it's a blend. Property tax relief is always a huge issue with our district, as well as being able to, we have a smaller segment of our population that's been really hit hard by flooding over the past several years. And the flooding issue is incredibly complicated, and it's something that there is no easy solution to. And in fact, even within the municipalities that I represent, the flooding issues in some municipalities are caused by factors that are totally distinct than the flooding issues in other municipalities. And so that's something that I'm trying to be creative and come up with legislation. In fact, there's one bill that I'm putting forth that will enable municipalities to be able to acquire properties that are in flood-prone areas utilizing green acre and blue acre money, and to get a direct offset of their affordable housing obligations. Because one thing in common that all these municipalities have is that you have too much high-density building. There's no place for the water runoff to go anymore, and so these municipalities are buying these properties to try to help alleviate flooding, but yet if they're mandated to do high density housing in another section of town, it's just exacerbating the problem.
So would the areas then be designated as green acres once the properties have been cleared of that? Yeah, so it would be creating a park in that fashion.
It would, and it would, in some instances, could potentially even revert it back to be overflow basins or retention basins.
Like flood areas. Okay, thank you very much. And the best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I would like to thank our guest, Assemblywoman Holly Schepisi, for appearing on this segment. Stay with us because we'll have more Meet the Leaders when we come back from this quick break.